It's the quest for details. It's Nate. We're somewhere out by the Pacific coast, exploring some roads. It is back to school time, even for my little one, and it's that time of year where you just can't make enough money no matter what you do to keep up with anything, so that's my personal drama. So I apologize, the videos are a little sparse right now compared to the normal, but still, you know, should be 3 to 4 a week minimum is what I'm trying to work on. I do not have internet at my house still because I'm just a worker bee. So this entire first 3 seasons has been broadcast from my truck on laptops using the various types of internet that I can find around the world. Coleman Valley Road, look this one up. Goes from inland out to the coast, out to Highway 1. Beautiful. No line on the road. Gorgeous. Oh, look at the creeks. Okay. But for everybody not in California, dang, look at these California redwood creeks. As I fly by them at 50 miles an hour. I'm a little hyperactive on the way to the treasure hunt. Shut up and drive. Yes, shut up and drive. There's an incredible view. That's the Pacific Ocean out there, and then that's all of, Two Rock, and all of the valleys out there, all the way out to Tamales Bay. This is that moment we're cresting over and there's the Pacific through my dirty windshield in front of us. It's all downhill from here. Can't not get out here. Look at this little, all the broken glass everywhere. This has been a spot for eons, I guarantee it. Actually, this kind of looks like a little house spot here. There's a little driveway coming down in a flat spot for a quarry. Look at that. Ledges. One ledge. Ooh. Creepy. Look at that. The mound of dirt next to the 6-foot hole. But yeah. This looks like we're on top of some big old small quarry. Probably just road fill, road work or whatever. Of course, you never know. It could be some ancient thing. That's how crazy the world is new and old mixed together, and if nobody remembers it's old, everybody assumes that it's newer. Whatever they were doing, they were pulling some big old rocks out of here. Because look, that's some pure rock that they were digging in. But no caves. Now that point that you see there, we've been out to in a video, and that's where we discovered them on accident. You were with me, but then I looked it up and they were already known archaeological sites, and they were just totally loaded with shells. And so all these coves, of course, were inhabited, and all these little hills and the perfect little round knolls that you see. This is probably just a quarry where they dug into a rock top, because all these are so erosive that they have rock cores that are sticking out. And yeah, this is also the path where the woolly mammoths came through, and they rubbed on the rocks and rounded them off, and you can see why above here and below here there's so many big rivers and steeper terrain and crazy canyons with woods. And this is actually bluff land out here. You could see big herds of megafauna moving their way through. Let's get down on the beach. 6 foot long, deep, with the dirt next to it. A watermelon. You're sort of vague, I imagine. I have no idea. Got a 53 here. I just pushed it forward. Check the hole again. Try to do this one-handed and it sucks. Oh, I see it. We're just kicking it forward because it's a super eroded zinc penny. Into the bag with you. Just working the little sitting areas in the dry right now. Getting all the little signals out of there, so it's a lot of garbage. But, long day, my back hurts. And I like beach detectors. You don't have to get down chiseling the hard, dry clays of summer mountaintops. And just stand and scoop. I don't even have my pinpointer on me. Using all long-handled things, and I'm only going down there when I see a target. And then if I can, I'll bring it to me. It's about 100 degrees. We're going through another heat wave, and inland it's about 100 degrees. Here it's like a nice, I don't know, 70 degrees right now. It's perfect. Okay, we got our first corner of the day. It's going to be a 1971 Lincoln, but it was an 81 signal on the Garrett AT Pro. Got an 86 here, so it should be a quarter. Or a piece of, like a ring. There's one-handed again. We got a quarter. Let's see what it is. It's a state quarter, so it's modern. Got one in the scoop, save the surprise for you. Oh, the bottle cap. Woohoo! Got another penny in the basket. And we've other little log houses to search. That's where we found gold rings a week ago. And a couple feet away, strong 81 signal on the Garrett. Dime, US 10-cent piece. We'll take it. Another dime. I mean, can't complain. I like the high squeaky stuff, so it keeps the train. Ooh. That one looks old. 80s. Ancient. Yep, 84 Americana Pop Relic. I just dug that. Had a really great signal to it, but I don't know what it is. And there's kind of like compacted layers of sand here. And still just kind of working along the cliffs, and I'll work back and forth through all this stuff. And you can see it's kind of breaking away, so it's like a little cut. I'm just going after every single sound. Very old core to a dime, just the copper part left. Well, I guess between now and 64, but it's been worn a lot. Screaming signal 75, blowing my ears off. There's nothing there. Horrible. It says it's right in front of us. Okay. Well, we will do this whole game. Well, you'd think even if it was just a little piece of something, it would have shown up by now. Ah, there it is. Look at that. Who even knows? That's the one. See, it's good to leave your pinpointer every once in a while. The digging's easy here and you hardly ever have to use them. And yeah, this is how it was done forever without a pinpointer. And before I had one. That's how I found the gold coiners doing that. Okay, we're working along the front of the biggest sitting log on the beach where everybody sits. This thing probably hasn't moved until besides winter. And we have a 68 signal in here. That's the number of gold pop tops. I think I hear something. Don't see it. Again. Okay, I'm deceiving you. Let's do this together. What happened? That's what happened. This ridiculous little thing is a glob of melted aluminum. Aluminugget. Okay, that'll test you too. That way when you go up looking for gold in the mountains and the rivers, you know that you can work on the little stuff. California beach home. Good location. High insurance rates due to, storm season. But they'll cover you and they'll sell it to you. And it's only $1 million a month. You know, only renting. Can't buy. But this could be your little villa. Pretty big grain grit on this beach, but we could bring it back and look at it anyways. Right before I do, I'll scoop up a big old handful and put it in the pouch, and this time I'll remember to actually look at it with a microscope. Found the key. Still hoping for the rain. You know how it is. God, that was a killer signal. But look how the armor with sunglasses, right? Look at that. Is that some heavy duty stuff or what? here. You see that? Red. And then blue. And that is red limit here. Blowing up like a ruby at us. That. Sinking low. We're down in the wet a little bit, working between the rocks. We've got a really faded out old dime again. I believe it's just a copper core. 51 signal. Dug it. And it's this. Who even knows? Was that a ring once long ago? You saw how skinny the dimes are now. That's crazy. I don't even know. No saying. Well, we're into some stuff that sat for a while. Look at the green on that. Not even sure that there's a hole through it. Probably just from being worn thin. I'll have to check it out. I see a, oh, it's a Lincoln cent. That one's been lost a while. It rusted the sand into a gob on it. Little butter knife. Behind the big old rock here. Little picnic spot out of the wind. Yes, and the sun's sinking low. And I'm not ready to go. No joke, just dug this. What the heck? That is so heavy. What are you? What? Whoa. Whoa. There's like 4 faces on this. It's like a dagger. It's like a 3-sided thing. And it's got wreath work and so many designs. It's so heavy. What's the number on that? Whoa. God, it's heavy. It does have a little green on there, but this is the ocean too. We're gonna have to really look at this. I mean, that goes without saying. What the? Give me a second to use both hands and I'll be right back. You wouldn't believe how heavy this thing is. It's got some energy to it too. I will admit that. Okay. Well, we should be hunting still. The things you find. The things you find. Well, it is way sunset. Working the wet on my way back, but we just got a ring that you can still kind of tell is a ring. There's a 55 on the Garrett, which is number. It's black. And it's pretty worn thin. Look at it when we get home. Ring in the sky. barely see the stairs back up. That's fine, not dangerous. The sun is long set, but we're out here at the edge of the continent, so it'll afterglow on us for a while. Afterglow is the best glow. I'll hike a little bit more. If there's anything else, I'll show you. If not, it's a long ride home. We'll see you soon. Somewhere beyond the darkness. Okay, here's our little cleanup. Pretty simple. We're going to talk about this at the end, so we'll leave that out. Here's the sand that we brought back. Here's our junk targets. Well, I guess a lot of these can be considered junk targets, but I'll still tell you what they are. These are bullets somebody shot into the hillside. It's probably been a while since people were shooting guns into that hillside. Big lead sinker. Another big lead sinker. Look how old and heavy duty these sunglass frames are. That's pretty crazy. Or goggles. Driving coach lenses. I'm not sure. Chunk of wire. This is a really cool piece of jasper. Let me get it wet. And I had so much saliva it got all over my fingers. Well, it looks even better in the daylight, but yeah, I'd like to tumble that up because it's got some crazy, look like Martian bacteria to me. So we'll definitely bring that by NASA and see if we've got a proof of life on Mars or anything. Other than that, just a nice wash of yellows and a jasper and naturally polished key. I want you to look at each of these things too, how much the metal just gets destroyed from sitting in that salt water. And those rocks are like stuck to it. This is stainless steel butter knife, eroded in half. Watermelon. It's one of those automatic vapes. It doesn't have a button or anything. These are zinc pennies. That one's almost gone. This one's on its way. So these are all after 1983 because they're made out of zinc. Before that they were copper in the United States. These are little teeny tiny, look how small they are, smaller than my nail, chunks of melted aluminum. These are dimes. These are all the same coin but in different levels of being worn down. So least worn, second least worn, third least worn, and then the most. Just the copper core, and you can barely tell that it's a dime. And this is a penny. It's obviously a Lincoln Memorial penny, but look, so that's, you know, sometime in the last 50 years. It's not a wheat, and it's that trashed. State cent, or state quarter. That's a pretty new quarter, you know, 2000s on up, and it's destroyed. These, I don't know what they are. Anybody does and they recognize that simple beveled chunk of copper? It's pretty heavy for being so little, but it's not a ring. This, also a little bit beveled, found way down the beach. Don't know. If these are pieces of something, they're two different sizes, two different thicknesses. This little flat ring could have actually been a ring, but it looks like just the copper core, or maybe a junker. But when you're looking at how thin the dime gets worn down, then you can see how thin. I mean, it's just getting sandblasted every day, basically. So that's how thin a dime can get worn too. Maybe that's how thin a ring can get worn too. Who knows? This was a ring. I mean, it is a ring, whereas the other ones may not have been. And I can't tell if those stones got perfectly wedged in there or not, but it seems like they match colors, like white, and then those are all the same color. And then there's obviously stones matching, but remember I pulled this out of the sand, so did it lose its original stones and then reset itself with matching gravels? I don't know. And it got so worn down, I'm assuming it's just a junker. It's really hard to tell what's going on with the metal there. If there's layering or not. But something weird. May not be weird, may have just been the original make, but see there's a soldering point there. You see how worn down it is to where just the solder is left. So that might be a silver ring, not sure. Very little silver ring, but a ring in the scoop, so stoked for just an after work little hunt. That brings us to this. We're going to talk about that in a second. Oh, and our little red mermaid here I put there so it looked like a drop of blood. I just thought that was cool. But yeah, red. Those are my favorite colors. Too fine and the rarest. Okay, let's take a walk and talk about this. Okay, about this knife. Where can we start? I brought this in fresh water. This is what it looks like cleaned up. By cleaned up I just mean basically wiping the green off. I used dry and wet terry cloth and stuff. And I actually didn't want to lose the patina, all the red down in there. Insane. So I had a friend look this up. I'll put the information on here. And remember when I said I found an angel blade? Well, kinda. So this is where it gets weird. What this is it's Tibetan, so Buddhist I guess you could say. There's 3 faces on here. What I am learning, the simple story is that these 3 faces represent 3 sides of a single deity, I believe. And the rest is ornateness. You see there's actually a face here. See the face? Of another scary demon. And this is, well, I don't want to say demon, another scary deity. Oh, it's okay, it's been through it. Isn't it awesome? Drawn from the water. So, already has spiritual meaning. We'll start with that. The simple way to explain this after looking it up over and over and over is that it is for getting rid of bad spirits. This is not something that actually physically be used on a human. Several descriptions were, it's stabbed into bowls of rice, into sand, which I thought was strange because we're at the beach. That's what it is. It's a Tibetan Buddhist bad spirit knife. 3 sides here, you see to it. In this religion, where this blade comes from, the 3 sides, I hope I'm getting this right, represent the 3 different worlds, the 3 different levels of reality. Now, that's something that's not just part of Buddhism. And, as a comparative religions freak, you can find the 3 levels of the worlds in all the religions, basically. was it Judaistic, I guess is what I'm looking for, meaning the base of Muslims, Christians, Catholics, Jews, all going back to being Abraham's people. That's their belief, is that they're all the descendants of Abraham. And in the tree of life, you have what, Malkuth, which is the mundane, basically the mundane level, and then you have the in-between level, and then you have the high spiritual level, and those are the three worlds. Well, that shows up over and over and over is what I'm trying to say. That would be like the human mundane level, the angels level, and then heaven level. The three levels of reality. And that's represented over and over and over. That's all I'm trying to say, is that you find that you can even take this, if you look at it, and in the Celtic world, the three-sided triangle made out of the knot is generally a water sign. Whenever you see the triangle and it's made out of a knot, a lot of the times that was meant to mean water. Remember that we found this in the ocean. It's three-sided, and these wraps running down look a lot like a knot. So you have a three-sided knot. This was found in the ocean. I know I'm throwing coincidence in here, but I said I'm a man of mysticism and science. So somewhere in the background, I hear Buckminster saying clearly, there is no such thing as a coincidence. The metal, extremely heavy, tarnished a little, but not a lot. Too gold to be brass, too light to be gold, too light colored to be gold, too soft to be this, too whatever to be that. When I looked it up, it says they're never, and that might not be true, because on other websites they were selling only iron and only brass, but it said they're never, so I take that to mean hardly ever, made out of one metal. That they're made out of up to 9 different metals, each one with its own symbolic purpose, to make an alloy. Now, this to me seems a lot like an alloy, and so I believe it said in the description that they will literally mix brass with copper with gold, and that's a lot of what it looks like. That is not a plating that you see on there. That is where I have not buffed down the patina with the rag or anything. What's sticking through is the base metal, and that's what the base metal looks like. Also, I wanted to show you this. This is the side, like when you find an old bullet or something, this is the side that sat down into the earth. It's reddened, and I don't think it moved much because this thing is so heavy. This thing is heavy, it is beyond heavy. And this is the side that faced up, and it's such a soft metal. You can see where the side that faced up, it actually got beaten over. You see that right there? That's what that patch is, and that's where it got folded over by being knocked and knocked. You can see there's actually a dent there, and this side was the side that was bright yellow when I pulled it out even. So it was getting scoured and maybe even exposed every once in a while during a storm. I'm thinking that it's older. It's definitely not, within the last couple years, drop, throw, lost thing. See, there's the face, nose, and the 2 eyes, and the eyebrows, and then you come around, and there's like the back of its head. The power coming off of this thing is good and strong, and I'll finish it with that. Coincidence? Well, I was born and raised a Christian, and then I started to find similar truths and matching pieces in all of the religions, and start looking for the pieces and the clues given directly. And so, at a time in my life where I feel like maybe my heart has a lot of its own bad spirits gathered up, and I'm dealing with negativity and trying to control it all the time. And I might have actually needed this right now. And that's all I can really say. I don't want to go too far. I hope I haven't scared anybody off, or offended anybody. or pushed any beliefs on anybody that they didn't want pushed. I don't ever mean to do that. But we did find a very meaningful thing to me that struck me very personally and very heavy, and out of all the things that I've quested in a while, I think this is a really big piece that has been sent, and I think it's going to help. It at least feels really, really good to have. So, blessings be to all people of all kinds and all places. Peace on earth. We'll see you farther down the road on this quest, hopefully, if tomorrow comes and we are still here.